There was a time in human civilization where artists were revered as the messengers and as essential contributors to the society and the culture, and definitely not on a level of creating beautiful decorations and only that. They were the messengers of, the gods, the divine, the spirit world, those who had passed to the other side or those who were not in the physical realm. And somewhere along the line, humanity, in all of its, never-ending search for, progress and technology and civilization, and this has developed this kind of hyper focus on, the masculine, the tangible, the 3D aspects of our realm, the logic, things we can touch, things we can see, things we can hear, the 3D realm, which is a totally essential part of all of us. When we talk about masculine, I don't mean men and women. I mean the masculine, feminine energies of the earth, of all things. The yin and the yang energy. The feminine being the unseen, the mystical, the intuitive, the telepathic, that which is connected to nature, and you know things that are a little bit more in the realm of the unseen. So there was a time, and probably for the majority of human history, where artists and creators were revered as, those that were carrying messages from the other side and those that were interpreting messages from the divine. Somewhere along the line, we really lost our way. And we've managed to minimize the role of artists and creators. And when I say artists, I don't just mean visual artists. I mean, anyone who creates something tangible and physical. It could be audio, whatever it is. And we've managed to whittle them down to a kind of luxurious part of society where they're creating this luxury item, which is purely kind of superficial or decorative or something that is novel, and we don't really need it. Now, I put to you the question that if you ask yourself, what if we completely change that paradigm? And what if we completely shift our way of thinking? And what if, for a moment, because I had this epiphany very recently myself, what about if we completely shift the way we see artists in society, the way we see art, the way we see music, the way we see writing, literature, whatever it might be, poetry? What if we see that as not just important, but as essential for the betterment and the full integration of all levels of humanity? What if we see that as the essential link to the divine, the unseen, the spirit world, the most potent powers that we all possess, that we all are connected to, but we spend 99.9% of our lives, most of us, completely unaware of? If you think about it, and as much as this physical, tangible realm, the 3D world is very important, and it gives us this human experience in our ability to grow and to have our human journey and to get to know ourselves and expand ourselves and to experience joy, the joy of eating, the joy of, intimacy with another person, the joy of, hugging an animal or smelling a flower or swimming in the ocean, which is wonderful. And these are deep spiritual experiences. But beyond all of that, when we pass over at the end of our lives, we don't carry our bodies with us. We don't carry our money with us. We don't carry our bank accounts, our clothing, our status, whatever it is we have on our external, in our external world, in our physical, tangible world. None of that comes with us. The only thing that comes with us, so what we have managed to accumulate in our souls during the space of our lifetime, is what we carry over to the other side and potentially into the future lifetime. So it could be then said that that which is of the greatest value is that which is unseen, the non-physical. As much as the physical allows us to have the gifts and the growth and expand our souls on that level through connecting with the 3D physical plane, the unseen gifts, the unseen messages, what we learn, the deeper learning, the unseen, the all-knowing, knowingness that we all contain, we're all connected to, that divine energy, that's what we take with us to the other side. And coming back to art and creation, these things are messages. If people started to stop seeing themselves as, self-indulgent, because modern society loves to see artists as a few things: creators, poor, self-indulgent, kind of egotistical. And don't get me wrong, there are those distortions of those people who are basically, walking those exact paths. But the role of the creators through time have been as the messengers, have been the translators of the divine energy. Where did we lose that? Where did we forget that? And why is it only at this point in my life where I'm starting to really remember this? Up until not that long ago, I kept thinking of, I almost felt guilty for wanting to be an artist, for wanting to pursue that, And you learn that from conditioning, you learn that from society, you learn that from maybe one of your parents or both of your parents, or your school teachers, whatever it is. Well, whoever it is that told you that that was some, irrational thought. But the more I grow, the more I mature, the more my spirit and my soul learns in this life, the more I expand myself on every level, the more I connect with the divine essence within me, the more I realize that this is really important work. And not just as an important work, the art itself, the creation itself is really important. These are vessels, these are divine messages. These are connections to other spaces in time and space, other places in time and space. We now know through quantum physics that there are infinite multiple realities happening at any given time. And which is why manifestation is effective, because essentially if you tune yourself into a certain frequency, like a radio station, you can then flip into another version of you living slightly differently, in a slightly different way, in a slightly different reality. We now know that this is scientifically proven to be happening, that our thoughts will manipulate our reality. So in knowing that, what we connect with in our world, the energy that we connect ourselves with, if we acquire a piece of art and have that piece of art in our homes and around us, or if we listen to that piece of music, it will shift our vibration. It will shift our vibration and potentially shift our reality, potentially shift our future, and potentially even fantastically shift our past. All of these things are possible all at once, and these are all things that our modern science is finally catching up to, but the wisdom of the ages has known since forever. So I challenge you to think about art and anything that is created by a creative person in any way, it can be anything, in a very different way, and not as a luxury kind of superfluous item that is a nice to have in your life. Think of it as essential along your human journey as the air that we breathe and the food that we eat, but for the soul. It's really an incredible thought to think. And I think that if more of us start to talk this way, think this way, and, give creation the kind of attention and energy that it deserves, I think it could create a huge domino effect and a positive shift in the whole human collective. So I'll leave you with that thought. I'd love to hear your comments below.